that for you in a minute. But I don't think this was just a snake. I believe that serpents, a serpent does not have to be a snake. It can be a lizard as well. But a serpent, I believe that serpents, that reptiles, for instance, probably have some intelligence. If you've ever been around them and watched them, they seem like they may have some intelligence. What are you talking about, Pastor? That's not my point. My point is that this was no ordinary snake. There are two things that could have happened here. One of them is that the devil could have possessed a snake. And that's what I used to believe. But another is that this was a being that perhaps what we would call a spirit being, an angel, fallen angel. We know it's the devil. We know it was a fallen angel. But it was this creature, and they didn't seem to be at all surprised that it spoke to them. Have you noticed that? They weren't surprised that it spoke to them. Now you're thinking, where are you going with this, Pastor? You're going to get off into something wacky. I'm really not. We need to understand this, because I want us to understand the devil can reveal himself as an angel of light. He is deceptive. They saw something that they were familiar with. Now, one of the names for serpent is, the best I remember, it is, I don't have this in my notes, wasn't planning on going there, but it is a seraph. Seraph is also one of the terms for an angel. Angels don't all look like humans. The word tells us in Ezekiel and in Revelation that there are 4 beasts, living creatures, that live before the throne of God. One of them, in Ezekiel, it says one of them has a face of a man, one has a face of a bull, one has the face of an eagle, the other has a face of a lion. And in Revelation, it gives you all those same features, but each of them, as they turn, you see different sides. So I believe Ezekiel saw the very same thing that John did, but he just saw a different perspective. I want us to understand that everything in heaven is not exactly like it is here. There is a hidden truth, a hidden reality. Now, I've said all that. That's all biblical. You look it up for yourself. But I've said all that because I want to get you somewhere. This was a serpent, and it was more cunning. What's cunning mean? It had more wisdom, more intelligence than any of the other beasts of the field. It don't say other. I added that in there. It had more intelligence than the beasts of the field. This had an intelligence that rivaled Eve and Adam, no doubt. But what I want you to get here is that it was cunning. It had wisdom. It was extremely intelligent. I'll come back to that in just a minute. But the word says, and he said to the woman, has God indeed said you shall not eat of every tree of the garden? I want you to notice the question that leads to the doubt. Has God indeed said that you shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said to the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, you shall not eat it, nor touch it, lest you die. I don't find anywhere in what God said to Adam about touching it. I think she added that. God could have said it. We don't get it written down, but I think she added that. I think she added to the Word of God. I want to tell you that when you add something to the Word of God that's not supposed to be there, it leads to deception, just as much as if you take something away from the Word of God, it leads to deception. We cannot, according to what she was saying, we cannot eat it nor touch it lest you die. Verse 4, this was our text this morning. Then the serpent said to the woman, you shall not surely die. For God knows that in the day that you eat it, your eyes will be opened and you will be like God, knowing good from evil. I got to pause again as I go through here. This lie that the devil says was that you shall not surely die. You won't really die. God knows that in the day that you eat it, your eyes will be opened and you'll be like God. They didn't realize it, but they were already like God. They were created in His image and in His likeness. They looked like Him. They walked like Him. They talked like Him. Their word had the authority of God in them. I believe that they shone with the brightness of God because when they ate of the fruit, they were naked and they knew it. But if you look at the word naked, yeah, that's what I said. I saw Lauren laugh at me for saying naked. I'm a redneck. They knew that they were naked. There you go. They knew it. They had not ever seen that before. They probably had lost the glory of God that surrounded them. We see the Lord in several places, and in Revelation, for sure, we see it several places that the Lord is clothed in light. My thought is that they were also clothed in light. I don't know that for sure. Not trying to convince you of it, but that's what I believe. And the word says that the